Working together is often a crucial part of the creative process. Most technology solutions for remote work concentrate on the collaborative creation of artifacts only, shared whiteboards, collaborative editors, and the like. However, we all know how important the social cues are: facial and body reactions, who is looking at home, who is getting uncomfortable. Commonly used video conferencing solutions don't even seem to try to support the non-verbal part of group communication. In addition, we often work and collaborate on multiple projects. While we want to focus on one task at a time, we do want to keep track of the activities across all our projects. Current tools like chat or email often cause distraction with known costs of context switching. Georg Michalich and I tried to tackle this problem many years ago. Both Georg and I studied in Vienna, and like any good student, we spent a lot of our time in one of the many coffee shops. You go there to read the newspaper, actually real ones, or join a table where some of your friends may have a spirited debate about something. In other words, you can choose to sit alone, engrossed in your reading, while still aware of what's going on around you. Changing context simply requires you to stand up and move to a different table. In fact, organizing your different projects by creating separate spaces for all the related artifacts is common in many professions. Draft tables for architectural models, or workstation in the upholstery workshop I grew up in. So Georg and I started a project we called Cockpit View to explore a user interface where collaboration was an integral and first-class citizen. The basic idea is that for each project or major activity, we create a separate table. All related artifacts, such as documents, spreadsheets, emails, are on that table, like the classical stack of paper on an old traditional desk. The table can be shared with others. To access what is on the table, one simply needs to sit down at that table. And as one would expect in the physical world, if two or more people sit down at the same table, they can see each other and talk to each other.
Hi, how are you?
In Cockpit View, we would automatically establish a video conference call between all the users currently sitting at that table. Leaving a table will automatically disconnect one from the video call associated with that table. But how will that help us to keep track of what's going on in all the other projects while minimizing context switch and cognitive load? Going back to the coffee shop scenario, we designed a simple pseudo 3D environment which you can easily navigate with a 2D mouse. Sitting down at the table translates into dragging the table towards you. At the same time, the distance to other tables determines the fidelity of their presentation. Like in a real coffee shop, we can hear people talking at nearby tables while only recognizing the presence of certain people at the distant tables. At the more technical level, we were garbling audio from nearby tables to allow identification of speakers and the intensity of the debate, but not the content of the debate. This provided context at minimal cognitive load. Activities at more distant tables were identified through low-res icons, again trying to find a balance between context and interrupted focus.
There were still many unresolved problems left when we finished the project. Many of the technical limitations do no longer exist. But over the last few months of remote work, I was often reminded on how much room for innovation still exists. If anybody is interested to revisit the idea of a collaboration-first user interface, I would love to hear from you. Thanks for listening.